An unspoken thing most of the time is
Sure.
the costs.
Yep.
People, say let's use the latest technology to teach our people better skills, etc., etc.
Sure.
But how do you measure up as opposed to somebody who comes to the factory and teaches them one-on-one or in a classroom situation, as opposed to yours?
In terms of the costing?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, in terms of investment, the initial investment is much higher than what you would hire a trainer to do it. But then I think the ROI, most of the time within 24 months, I mean, you get your ROI back. Because as far as trainers are concerned, you have to actually fly them down or get them to travel, or get your learners to travel to a particular location, put them up, the hotel, the
Which
accommodation.
field of the whole, or which operation is the one that applies best in your situation? Like, are you teaching a physical skill like, handling a machine or a lathe, or is that also part of it, or that's not part of this?
No, absolutely. I mean, we do. We've created stuff, very diverse kind of learning programs. It could be soft skill where you're teaching communication skills, interviewing skills, leadership skills, or it could be the hard skills.
Those are hard to measure whether you actually learned anything or not. But the other ones where you see you're an completely, an important function being run on a particular conveyor belt.
Yeah.
And then you guys come in with your fix-it theories.
Yeah.
And they go run through this class and they actually physically see things are looking better. Isn't that easier for them? Is that the area where they normally look for?
No, we do, equally across all areas, because even soft skills can be measured. It definitely can be measured.
He was an idiot, but he's not so much of an idiot after you finished your class. What else will they say?
Sorry, in terms of the measuring of the thing.
Yeah.
No, what happens is like interviewing skills we've done for somebody. It's not straightforward. Okay, what are the type of questions to ask? It's not open-ended, close-ended. That's a theoretical part.
Okay.
What we would typically do or have done for a particular client is create simulations where, after teaching these guys what are the type of questions to ask, when to ask, you also create a simulation where the learner becomes the interviewer. And then you have you interviewing the computer,
okay.
And you could pick the kind of interview you want to talk to, and then you actually at the end of it you can measure how you went through the entire interview.
So is this something that people can use to refine their skills, or is it just an actual tool for the company?
It is used by the people to refine the skills. Yeah, absolutely.
It's for them.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's 90 times out of 100. That's why you use it, not to pick out the best or weed out the lousy guys. It's for them to
learn the skill, so that they are. For example, like the example I spoke about just now is what we did for a staffing solutions company, and these guys interview candidates day in and day out for their clients. They recruit for their clients.
Okay.
So which means the skill which is very critical to them and the organization is interviewing skills. Okay. So when they recruit somebody, they typically have to get them through a 3-day program, on a classroom setup. But here, you
don't need that.
They don't need that. They can keep on improving their skills again and again. And you have different types of interviewees in front of you, and you get measured all the time, evaluated all the time.
This is good for schools and whatever you guys are doing.
Absolutely. Schools.
The common complaint in the education system in our country is that we just making unemployable graduates, a bunch of morons.
Yeah.
These are common words.
Sure.
The much worse stuff they say.
Yeah.
So why aren't we making better looking programs or all that for school level kids? Is it too expensive?
It is expensive. So, there are programs out there. We are talking about digital schools and digital classrooms.
The government of India with 1 lakh crores going put aside for education. What are they doing with it? Should all this be part of the...
Yeah, the numbers are huge. You look at the numbers which are being allocated, budgeted and spent. These are huge numbers. I don't think anybody in the world matches the kind of numbers we are talking about in India in terms of whether it is school level training or vocational skills. The huge budgets for vocational skills.
Yes.
But obviously, there's something wrong with the system. So
like in Madras city, I keep talking to people who drive auto rickshaws.
Great.
I always ask them, what the devil are you doing behind the wheel, behind this handlebar?
Sure.
Shouldn't you be doing something which is, earn you better money,
Yep.
or doesn't have to run around in the middle of the night getting abused by all and sundry? They're saying, no, we have no skills. I don't know how to be an electrician. I know there's a need for them or a need for a plumber. So those kind of skills, is not the area where you guys can really play a part?
we'd love to play a part, but the budgets, you're talking about, from 150 rupees per hour of developing an e-learning program. I mean, it's
At
unreal.
150 rupees, you can't do anything but except put one camera on his face.
Yeah, probably you can't even hire the camera at 150 bucks, right, per hour. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh yeah, you need a presenter. You need
yeah, absolutely.
personal skills.
Yeah, so there's a gap that we are not interested in, in that kind of because we're not big enough, and we are a for-profit organization, which means that we'd rather go the corporate way.
And how are Indian clients? I mean, a rotten question to ask, but how are our people compared to the ones in the West? Are they more demanding? Are they,
Yeah, I mean, as Indians, we are all very demanding, right? For us, it's very simple. It has to be cheap and best. So
cheap and best? That's not too bad. They will say cheap and best. At least somebody's checking out that is best.
Yeah. So I mean, Indian
What
clients.
about cost overruns? When you have a cost overrun with an Indian company, especially in these kind of areas like yours,
it is challenging because we don't understand project scope, and we don't understand out of scope. So it is challenging, but yeah, I mean, we've been working in the market for about 10 years now. So yeah, there are ways we need to work around it, and yeah.
So this learning through the mobiles, I'm sure that's going to take over. So when we come back, I'll just ask him this whole question about learning through the mobile. I think that's the future.